What's going on, everybody? My name is Johnny, and welcome to the Gintalion podcast. I am joined here today with Jake. Thank you so much for being on this episode. We are right around in the May area, and I thought, why not talk about the Star Wars sequels as we have the new Obi-Wan Kenobi show, which will be premiering May 27th. I think we just go all the way back to episode 7. I felt like that was a really special time because there was just, nobody thought there would be another sequel going. But here we are with episode 7, The Force Awakens. What are your honest thoughts on it?
Well, first I want to say thank you for letting me be here.
Of course.
I would love to talk about opinions about those movies, but for Force Awakens, personal opinion, when I first saw it, I loved it. I thought it was great. I was entertaining. And then as I dove deep into it, I was like, you know what? This is kind of like a remake of Episode 4, A New Hope.
And you know what? That said a lot, but that was actually done on purpose. J.J. Abrams very specifically in a documentary said that he did that so that people could be more interested in it, which makes sense. You got to get the old vibes from, especially when they bring back the old cast like Mark Hamill and, Carrie Fisher and whatnot, which was awesome to have. Harrison Ford, of course. But I think they did a really good job to bring everything back. You got the Millennium Falcon. You have like a new type of Darth Vader with Kylo Ren. And everything about it just made sense. And they were really building up the characters, I feel like.
Yeah, I'd have to say.
Do you think the characters were good or?
I love the old cast, Han Solo, but there was that one part, with Rey and Finn, I gotta give them some credit, they're not the best actors or actresses in the world, but, they gotta start somewhere, and I love how they try and interpret, a new way of showing Star Wars and, Jedis and all that. And there's that one part on Tatooine where Rey was like, oh, that piece of crap. And she's pointing right to the Millennium Falcon. And she's like, you just lost my respect. You lost my respect for saying a classic ship. And it's just...
But that ship has gone through a lot. I mean, come on
I know,
now.
But it's a classic... It's the Millennium Falcon. It's a classic ship. And I had to say, the cinematography, fantastic.
Yeah.
It's great. They have a lot of character build up. And it's just... I think it's one of the best out of the 3.
Yes, for sure. But before we continue, I would like to thank our sponsor, Chicago Suburban Rides. They really helped us get this going with the fundraising we've been doing for Christmas, Toys for Tots and whatnot. So thank you so much for doing that and to make this episode possible.
Chicago Suburban Rides has everything you want in the electric scooter world. All the way from trails to roads and everything in between. Why ride bicycles at 5 miles per hour when you can ride up to 50 plus miles per hour with us? For more information, check out our Facebook group at Chicago Suburban Rides and join us today.
But jumping next into our episode 8, which is, he's already starting to laugh. It as controversial as it is, I think cinematography-wise, it is the best one made.
Yes.
I truly think, the CGI... I don't know, was that up for an Oscar or was that Rogue One?
I think it was Rogue One.
That was Rogue One, okay.
Yeah.
But episode 8, I think, deserved more credit than what it's due. Obviously, the storyline, I know they took some liberties to do what they had to do. Rian Johnson had some ideas from J.J. Abrams, but he just kind of tossed them off to the side. But I don't know, do you really think it's that bad?
Yes, I really do. Because Last Jedi, cinematography, I think... Just to get this out of the way, cinematography for all the movies was fantastic.
Oh, of course. Episode 4, right from the get-go, changed everything.
But for Last Jedi, there's certain things that just did not make sense. Like the casino and the horses, why... What's the...
It was a waste of time.
Yeah, it's a whole half
an hour. They literally just went back in a
need.
loop for nothing.
A whole half an hour they didn't need anything. And I think Finn's death for that movie, I think would have been perfect. Sacrificing himself...
I disagree.
To save everyone, and then Rose just came in with another ship and could have killed them both. And then she's like, "Oh, you know what? I really like you. Let's have a nice kiss." And then you see his reaction, like, "Don't get close to me." And just, I think the story needed a little work. There's a lot of interpretations where they didn't need. And I think another great scene is the light speed scene.
Yes.
I think that
and I think all the Luke scenes are good. I know some people say, oh, that's not my Luke Skywalker. That is. In fact, there's a scene where Mark Hamill is holding his lightsaber, thinking about, killing Kylo Ren because he senses what will happen. And that is the exact same shot from episode 6 when he was ready to kill Darth Vader. So it's like, of course it's Luke Skywalker. Exact same thing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this one had consequences to which
Yes.
Kylo Ren killed a lot of people.
Killed
but,
many people. But I have to say that in that same scene, or not the same scene, but later when they're on that mountain era in the snow and the red sand, I think.
Oh, that's
I think
my
that was
favorite.
good because
That
was
was
just like
great.
fire, and then all of a sudden, Luke Skywalker just
He just
brushes
brushes it off.
it off.
Nothing
Like,
happened.
just got nothing on me. So I think great cinematography, just not one of the best movies out of the three.
No, and I agree with that. And then of course, after that, a lot of people were very skeptical. But then J.J. Abrams agreed to come back, and then we have Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker.
It's better than 8, but
Yes.
you could tell there was so much damage control. Like right from the get-go, they're like, "Oh, that never happened. What are you talking about?"
Oh, I know. And then,
But of course, the biggest thing, Palpatine. Do you think they just threw that in there for laughs and giggles, or
Yes.
do you think they had that because they claim they have had it planned since Episode 7?
I think they just threw it in there. They had to because in 6 he exploded.
But this is a clone. There's a lot of lore to it, but it's a clone, and his spirit is in this clone.
I liked Rise of Skywalker. Some of the fight scenes were they were decent.
When they were fighting on the Death Star, that was cool. That was really cool.
A lot of good techniques and stuff, but overall, I think that movie doesn't get a lot of credit that it should. So I'd have to say that, in my opinion, if I really wanted to watch it, I'd watch it, but I won't be as thrilled because
just knowing what it went through to get there.
Right.
But I feel like even with the the Disney Plus shows, I feel like they're fixing the sequels because they're trying to make sense of what happened with the cloning with Baby Yoda. Well, I know his name's Grogu, but it's Baby Yoda. Get over it, people.
Yeah.
But I think they're trying to fix it, and I hope with the next movies, which will be made by Rian Johnson. I know he's making another trilogy. We'll have to see what happens. But hopefully we'll talk about that in another podcast. I want to thank Jake for coming out. I want to thank our production crew for getting this going. And, of course, we will see you guys in the next Gintalian podcast.
Thank you so much, John.